Good afternoon, Dr. Hyacinth Guy. Welcome to Corporate Corner. We are so glad to have you today. And, without any further ado, I want to take you through our interview as you share your journey, your experiences with us so that we can learn, we can be informed, and we can be inspired. We are about providing inspiration and information to business leaders, entrepreneurs, persons who really want to make a difference in their own space. And of course, we know we're in amidst a pandemic and persons are having, so much difficulties and so on. And it would be a joy for us to have front row seat and insight into your journey and your experiences. So let's start with your journey. How did you become and in your current role, and is it everything you dreamed of? If yes, why? If not, certainly why not?
Oh gosh, we talk about dreams, you dream to be this and then but it's never that one way, you set as you go through life. Yes, you have an aspiration to be or to do something, and you work towards that. And, it's only later in life that I learned the principles of goal achieving, even though, early in life, I was demonstrating those principles, but not knowing that I was demonstrating those principles. But when I came into that learning and that awareness, then well, okay, this is what I'm doing. So now you can do it purposefully. Yes. So it's, yes, you dream, and yes, you want to achieve something, you want to do something, you want to be something. But whenever you find that, hey, I'm there, I've done this, it's never enough. You set another goal and you keep going. And that is what has happened in my life.
All right, well,
I remember my young days, I just had this vision of, I want to work in an office and I want to be important. I want to be in charge of something. And then I got that opportunity very early, very young in my career. And your aspirations never stop. You always keep setting bigger and higher goals, and you just keep going. And even at this stage in my life, I achieve things, I set new goals, and I just keep going. Yeah.
So what are you doing now? What are you about now? Tell us.
Well, I spent quite a number of years. I happened to drop into human resource management, and I made that a career. Right? It is wonderful. It really, really is fulfilling. But you get into it, and in your early days, you see it in a particular context. And generally, you tend to see it very narrowly. Yeah, and then you set and you achieve goals. And then as you keep going, you say, okay, well, what next? And that is what brought me to, more learning in the field and getting higher and higher education until, well, I'm at the point now where I have a PhD in conflict analysis and resolution. I have a master's in an MBA and a master's in labor and development. My first degree is a social science degree. So, going deeper and deeper into a field that you love, it opens you to want to learn more, want to do more. And that is what moved me as I grew in HR to, yes, you have done a BSc, that's great. And you've gotten to a point, but you want to do more, you want to give more. That prompted me to do the master's in labor and development, because then I saw the need there to engage people, to engage different stakeholders. How do you influence people and negotiate your way through issues, So that brought me to look at the labor and development masters. And I did that in Holland, actually.
Wow.
And then I did a master's in business because I happened to be in an organization, yes, in HR again, but on the executive level. And different executive members bring in different perspectives. And I just wanted to understand that. Again, I set another goal, and there I was doing an MBA. First, I started off saying, you know what, I just want to understand what this person talks about when he presents the finance report, because it was like Greek to me. And I went and I did the one module in an MBA program. It was management accounting. I said, okay, it wasn't too bad. Then I did the finance accounting module. And by the time I did the third module, they said, well, you know what? It's either you stop there or you do the whole MBA. So I did the whole MBA. So,
Wow.
and then after that, I went on and I wanted to do my PhD. When I thought about doing my PhD, I was at a point in my career where I said, I'm at this point, I'm at this juncture, and I really need to do some, I really need to start thinking about life beyond the corporate world. And I was really
Wow.
preparing for working on my own. So I did the
Okay.
PhD with that in mind. And when I did the PhD, I was at a point and I said, PhD in HR? No, I've done HR. I've been doing it for so many years. I have qualifications in it. What do I want to do? And as I sat back and I thought about it and I did research, this program came to me. PhD in conflict analysis and resolution from
Wow.
Nova Southeastern University in Fort Lauderdale. And they were doing it online, a really robust program. And I did
Wow.
that program. I started it in early 2000, and I graduated I presented in 2012. Took me a while. It was a longitudinal study that I did in the subject, but I thoroughly enjoyed it. And you know what? I did the master's in labor. I did the master's in the MBA. I did PhD in conflict analysis and resolution, and it was always to supplement and to do better at what I was doing, which was human resource management. But I stayed clear away from going deeper in HR studies. But every one of
Ah.
those programs brought me right back to how do you do HR better? Every one of them. Yes.
Wow.
It's my
Wow.
passion, is what I do. Yes.
So you lead the human resource company. So tell us.
Right. So I worked up to 2017 when I retired from the corporate world, and then I set up my own consultancy business. And
Right.
so since 2017, I have been consulting. And when you get into consulting, it was different. It was different for me. And I had to learn and lean on people who had been in that field for quite a while, who had been consulting for quite a while, because I had to learn how you present yourself to a client as a consultant. And that's quite different from how you present yourself as the head of a function inside of an organization. Yeah, it's quite different. And
Absolutely.
you think you're presenting, well, I have all these good leadership skills, but as a client on the outside is different. And I had to learn that. Yes, and
Absolutely.
and you also had to learn, how do I brand myself? What am I good at? And when I look at the whole spectrum of things that I have done in HR, it's a whole lot of things. But do I go out there and present, this hodgepodge of things that I can do? And I started to look at, what do I like doing? There are things that I can do, but what am I passionate about? And I zeroed into 2 or 3 things. I'm really passionate about, one, making HR functions effective and making
Right.
HR people think and operate strategically. I'm really
Wow.
passionate about that. So
Mm-hmm.
some of my clients have gone into their organizations, I've worked with the HR people, I've gotten them to restructure their function, refocus their function, so that they see the organizations through the lens of people, but how you can develop those people, not about how we can get people to comply with policies or if we apply this effectively. You have to do that, yes, but the focus is, how do I get people to give of their very best in this organization, should the organization to function more effectively? So I'm passionate about that. I'm passionate about organization restructuring. I can go into an organization, take some time, analyze that organization, walk through that organization, talk to people, and then I can sit down and I can tell you what are the structural and other conflicts in that organization and how it could be restructured to meet its mandate and achieve its mandate. And I'm doing that with a couple of clients now. So those are 2 things I'm really passionate about. And then along the way, as I was, building myself and educating myself, I did some other things in between those programs. I became a life success coach, which means that I can coach people on how to set and achieve goals, how to overcome, habitual thinking habits that limit their potential. And I can coach people to to see themselves are better than they see themselves at the particular time in their life, and to see their potential
Wow.
and to step into their potential. So I like that. I
Yes.
like the strategic human resource management, the restructuring, and coaching individuals so that they could step into who they are and give the
A-
very best of themselves. Yeah? So that's a mouthful, but that's
Absolutely.
who I am.
That's wow. Okay, so let's look at your contribution. How have
So the
you
development, okay. Mhm.
how have you and your
How have your
organization
organization?
contributed to the development and the
Yeah,
economy of the
yeah,
economy and society? Tell us.
yeah. Natasha, when you're passionate about something, you want to be the very best at it and you want to learn it. It's almost like if it's an alarm clock that wakes you up in the morning because you're doing it and you just love doing it. So with human resource management, for me, it was always about what do I do now in this organization to take this organization forward? Yeah. So I always looked at the function from a very broad perspective. And I always engage others and, what do you think about this and how do you do this? And I realized that when you are in a leadership position in an organization, you can't be in a silo, even
Hmm.
in that organization, and even to separate yourself from other organizations and other people in the field. Hence, I joined associations. I joined the Human Resource Management Association very early in my career. I think in the
Yes.
1990s, I joined that association. And well, of course, it's the Association for Human Resource Professionals. And I got onto the executive. And at one point, I led the organization. So we really set about promoting the human resource function and
Right.
doing things to build the image of the human resource profession and that human resource professional. So I think we contributed a lot to the development of society and our community through me being and in that association. So
Yes, in that
we
space.
as an association, we did so, right? We created a
Yes.
space for human resource professionals to do that. And I've also been on several other business organizations. I've been on the ECA. I've been on committees at the level of ministries. And some of these are, well, most of these are voluntary, really. I can't recall being on a committee. Yes, I've been on a couple of committees. I've chaired some boards, and I've been on task force, and I have, given of my time at that level, produced whether it's a report or participated as part of a committee, several of them. That would have gone into some policy at a national level or
Yes.
some initiative at a national level through
All
participation
right.
either on a board or on an agency or on a task force or a committee. Yeah.
Ah,
So I'm
that's
doing that right now.
nice.
Yeah.
That's excellent. So we're getting into some more
Mhm.
meat about Dr. Hyacinth Guy. I'm having fun.
Okay.
So your outlook. So what
Mhm.
significant changes have you observed over the past 2 to 3 years? And what's your outlook for the next 12 months?
Yeah. Let me talk about this in the context again of human resource management. One of the things that I was awakened to and enlightened on when I stepped out and I got into my own business was the practice of human resource management in Trinidad and Tobago. And, I always felt that, we had done some good work in lifting the image of HR through by being on her mat and, participating in other committees and so on. But when I got out there, I started to work with clients and clients at all different kinds of organizations. And you would come across clients who have very sophisticated HR processes. You would come across clients that, still operating at the level of what we call personnel management. Yeah. And
Mm,
you come across clients where HR is still very, very much a kind of backseat function. And I was a little bit surprised and a little bit disappointed in that because we had never done the survey or any kind of analysis, but I really thought it was, the percentage was more than that. That there were more people in HR functioning at a strategic level. I really thought so. And then in interacting with some persons, I found, well, they are skilled, they are knowledgeable, but they didn't see themselves as being able to influence organization outcomes, even though they sat in HR. And so I don't know if that is a change or if that was just me, an awakening, being enlightened that this existed all the time. You just didn't know.
Can you imagine?
But I really am on a mission to change that. I'm really on a mission to change that. And what I've done over the last 2 years, I have worked with an organization that had developed an HR simulation program. If you go on my Facebook page, you would see some pictures and some information on that. So it's an HR simulation program where you sign up for the program and you are signing up to run an HR department for 8 days. It could be as much as 12, but we have done it for 8 days. So you simulate running the HR department. So it's software, right? So you get into the organization, you get into the environment, you have a team of people, and you run that HR department. Every day I give you decisions to make, every day I give you scenarios, and you have to act on that. And when you act on that, you see the impact on the organization. You see, with us in HR, we make decisions and we don't see the immediate impact on the decision. We put in a performance management system today, and you don't see the impact on that until maybe a year, 2 years down the road. And you say, oh, I need to tweak this here, I need to change this here. But with the simulation allows you to see it immediately, straight to the bottom line, straight to injuries, straight to absenteeism, or whatever your other metric is. And people who have been through that program and who have done it, they said it has really opened their eyes as to the impact of HR in organizations and what they can do to step up and give more, do more in the organization. Yeah, we just finished one in April, and I plan to do another one in October. So it's really learning by doing. It's really learning by doing. Yeah, simulated, training by immersing yourself in a simulation is the best way to train. Really is.
Oh, amazing. So let's talk a little bit about your hurdles. What was one of your most challenging experiences, and how were you able to manage or overcome?
Now, I'm taking this to mean a work experience because, as individuals, as, even as women, and in our different roles, we have had different challenges. But I'll talk about challenges in organizations. Yeah, in the workspace.
Sure, and feel free to share personal challenges. Feel free, because we are people wherever we go. We are people.
We can learn from each other.
And we can learn from each other. This is what this forum is all about. This is what this corner is all about.
Well, I think my biggest challenge was early in my career in an organization, I won't call the name, that I operated in, and I was recently placed to head the function of HR, and that organization moved to restructure very soon after that, and it had to downsize, and that was a challenge for me because I had to step up. I had to consult with people, find out from other people how they did it. I had to quickly learn how to apply the law. Knowing the law is one thing, but applying the law is another thing. Yes, I had to quickly learn that. And then I had to engage my team in this entire process. And it was done. It was done well. It was challenged in court, and it stood up. But the lessons I took away from that were, it is okay to do something and do something well, but there was a little element missing from the way I did it, which was that human touch. Because I was so unsure of myself at that point in time, I defaulted to a very clinical, transactional approach to it. And it was done well, it couldn't be faulted. When I had to do that again years later, I took another approach. I combined that clinical approach with a human approach. I took the time to talk to everybody who was leaving that organization, to have them discuss options without making a decision, for them, help them to walk through that transition and to engage other people to do the same with people who were leaving. That is not just about we do this and we do it right. It's not just the what, the how. The how was really, really important. And that was a lesson. It was a great challenge. I mean, I was concerned about it afterwards when people said, "Oh, Hyacinth, really?" As if really, you really did this, and I said, I will do this, but do it differently. I will do it differently. So I have done restructuring now in a different way. Yes, you follow the law. Yes, you follow the guidelines, but you do it in a humane way. Talk to people, engage people, get them to come to the table and discuss their concerns. You don't have to do it alone. Yeah, you could have a team of people doing that. But restructuring programs that involve downsizing could be done. It can be done effectively. It can be done in a humane way. So people make that transition. And again, Natasha, it's all about getting people to believe in themselves, to believe that there are possibilities, to believe that they have potential, and that potential isn't necessarily here in this space. It could be anywhere. See the potential. And I have helped them. So I've combined that life success coaching principles that I've been exposed to with the strategic human resource knowledge and competencies that I have. And I find that combination works well when we're doing an organization restructuring.
Marriage made in HR. I think probably we could do a book. Marriage made in HR. We can do a book. We'll talk about that. We'll talk about that later.
Nicely put. Yes.
Marriage made in HR. So your advice, what friendly advice do you have for persons getting into business and or leadership?
The first thing that people have to know is, what are they bringing to the table?
Wow.
Because you have to know yourself. You have to know yourself. What are you bringing to the table? Because we could know all of these things about the business that we are in. We could have all of those technical skills. But what are you bringing to the table when you are leading a business? The things you are bringing to the table, are they going to take that organization forward on an ongoing basis? Because sometimes we feel that we are the owners, and it's either my way or the highway. But a my way or the highway approach will work for the short term. I've seen it. The minute people have options, they exercise those options. The minute people now have to make a choice, will I support you or will I pull the carpet from under your feet? Maybe I will go for the carpet because of how I've been treated, and then combined with options, I may go that way. So as business leaders, we getting into business, we have to know what we are bringing to the table, and we have to bring that humane approach. And a lot of times people think because you're bringing a humane approach to business, you're bringing a soft approach, and a soft approach is not a good approach. A lot of times people feel so, that, if you're aggressive, if you're assertive, if you're decisive, yes, you could be all of those things and still bring a humane approach. Yeah? Yes. I've been in a big part of my role in human resource management is practicing industrial relations. And I have had to do negotiations. I have had to handle grievances. I've had to handle, be on tribunals, handle disciplinary hearings. And we could do that in a way that we follow all the rules and the guidelines, but we still demonstrate respect. We still demonstrate courtesy to people. We still give people a voice. Because by doing so, we create an environment of cooperation. People want to create with you in that environment. And there's so many more options for your business going forward. Yeah. When we have other kinds of behaviors and we close off those options. And in hard times, we'll find ourselves wanting.
My God, that's good. That's powerful. That's powerful. So now we're smack in the middle of a transition here. We're getting into the fun facts, the lighter side, or the other side, as we describe it in this corner, the other side of C-suite. So are you ready to tell all or to tell some?
if I stumble, help me through, please.
Oh gosh, so we laying back,
Right.
at this junction.
Okay. Oh,
So
wow.
a few of your favorite things. So you
Hmm.
can choose,
Hmm.
or you can your favorite food, song, your book list, people,
Oh,
place to visit.
let's see. So we have food, we have song, we have book, we have people, places to visit. Let's start with food. Oh, I like carbs, but carbs don't like me.
Oh boy.
I try to limit it. I really do. I do well at limiting it. But yes, I
What
like
any
carbs. But if I
particular
were to go to
carbs?
my favorite, yeah, I like pasta.
Ah.
I like
Mm.
pasta. You know, pasta and vegetables and shrimp. Oh, I love that. Yeah.
Ah,
But
okay,
as I said,
okay.
I limit it. I like to bake my own bread. And I do bake my bread. I bake green bread, with different greens in it. I like that. But even that, I have to limit. I can't be eating too many of those things.
Ah, yes,
My body
yes.
type would not allow it, Natasha. Yes.
Oh
So,
gosh.
and I think from a meat standpoint, mainly chicken. I'm not too much into the other kinds of meat, but I'll eat it from time to time. Fish from time to time, shrimp from time to time, but mostly chicken I eat.
Got
Yeah,
you.
favorite
Got you.
food. Yeah,
So,
and I am partial to a little sweet now and then, not too much. I don't have a sweet tooth, but a little sweet now and then I'll eat something.
all
Yeah.
right.
Song. Oh gosh, girl. I was telling my husband the other day, we were talking about what was our favorite song, and I told him my favorite song. He didn't know it. So really old song. It's a really old song. It's a song called
Tell us,
uh,
tell
If,
us, tell us.
If I Only Had Time.
Oh, I don't.
Time's like the wind that goes hurrying by as the hours just fly. Dreams to fulfill. It just resonates with me because it just says who we are as human beings, and we're just passing through this. So many things we want to do, but time, and we just have to make the best of it. We just have to make the best of that
And you
time.
have a
So go search
a
it. You're
super
too young to know it.
voice.
You're too young to know it. I
But
can't remember the name. I looked it up the other
your
day. The
voice.
guy.
Oh my gosh.
Um,
No, this is a shocker. This is a shocker for me. I did not expect that.
yes, that's my favorite
Wow.
song. Yes, it
Okay,
is.
I'll go look it up and I'll
Go
put it
look
in the
it up.
description box. I'll go look it up and
Yes,
put it in the description
yes.
box.
I remember
So,
the guy. Yes. My favorite book, because it was the book that launched me into getting into coaching, was a book by Eric Butterworth called, um, oh gosh, I'll have to get the name of the book. It's right in my library there.
sure.
It's, let's pass on that, Natasha. It doesn't come to me, but it will come to me before the end of this
All right, no
session, right?
problem. No problem.
Eric
Let's get
Butterworth. Yes, yeah. Can't remember the name. People, people. My parents put such good values in me. Anytime anybody asks me who you people you admire, I said, okay, we have to recognize our parents or extended family. I am so close to my family. I just love my family. And you see, this
wow.
COVID has us meeting on Zoom. I had to teach my mother how to use Zoom. Yeah, which she learned, just so that we could keep in touch. I really miss that. But outside of my family, there are people that I admire because of the some qualities that they have, which I like to emulate. So I like Oprah for her speaking abilities, Michelle Obama for
Mm.
her speaking abilities. There are people I admire. The names will come to me because they persevere in terms of, stretching their physical bodies to a limit. This girl who does the one that you do on the bars. I think Simone something is the name. I just find, how do you get to that? Simone Biles. How do you get to that? And I'm saying, it's a quality that I admire in them. And if you want, something for yourself, you look to that person who does it, and you say, okay, what can I follow? What can I emulate there? So I try to do things so that I could speak off the cuff like how Oprah and Michelle speak. I just love to hear them speak. I try to do things when I see, somebody is doing something, physical with their bodies, exercising their bodies and keeping it healthy, because I want to also emulate that, and not to go the extent that they are doing it, but that's a good trait to have.
Yes, yes.
Traits in terms of how you interact with people. So I would look and to other people and say, okay, that is something that I would like to emulate. So there are a number of people that I would see, admire something, and say, okay, this particular trait is something that I could emulate. So
Oh,
a number of people.
awesome. Awesome. And
Yeah,
any place,
places to
once the
visit.
border open, let's see, you're taking a plane and you're going where?
Well, I have some really close girlfriends, and we had made it a habit to, just a few years ago, we said we'll try to visit a certain place every year. It's four of us, two girlfriends and my sister. And now we have included another sister and another girlfriend. So it's going to be expanded when the borders open. But in the past, where have we gone to? And I've done a lot of travels with my family and my husband already, right? So outside of that, where have we gone to? As four girlfriends, we did Vegas. And we will not speak about what we did in Vegas. We did New Orleans, which was awesome. I love New Orleans for the history, the traditions that you saw there. It took you back into another period, another era. And you go on these visits and you see these slave plantations and so on, and you sit there and you say, wow, imagine the hustle and bustle of this 150 years ago. So I loved it. I loved it for that. And we were planning a European, 2 or 3 country tour in 2020 before COVID hit. So from time we can do that again, we'll be back to planning to do that.
Ah, awesome, awesome. So we're going on and some more of the lighter side of C-suite.
Discover the power within you, Eric Butterworth.
Discover the power within you. Favorite book.
Yes.
Noted.
Yes.
Noted.
Discover the power within you. Yes.
Yes, noted. So laughs, your clumsiest moment. Tell all.
I was a very young girl. I was still at home. I grew up in Pinal, right? And
yes.
I went to San Fernando to do something. It was a really rainy day. And I was walking on the pavement and I slipped and I fell on the edge of the drain, and this water all around me. Now I fell, nothing hurt or anything, but I was so embarrassed that I said to myself, if I lay here and pretend that something is really wrong with me, I'll get sympathy and then I'll get over the embarrassment. And I did that. And everybody rushed to help me. Yeah. I had the presence of mind to stay right there and pretend that I was hurt, just to overcome the embarrassment.
The embarrassment. Oh boy.
I did.
Oh my gosh. Dr. Hyacinth. Okay. Your pet peeves.
My pet peeves. I have some pet peeves. You can come to me now, boy. Simple things. I drive through neighborhoods and I drive on the street and I wonder, why does the government allow people to build tall walls around their homes when you get into a corner? So you drive to this corner and the house is on the corner here, maybe on your left, and you can't see the road and you have to edge, and that irks me. You would not believe that little thing. I feel there should be a law which stops people from establishing a blind corner. I really think so. That's just one. Let's not get into all these negatives. I'll just throw that one out here.
Okay, so we just put that out there.
Yes.
Hobbies.
My hobbies. I used to read a lot. Books. I used to read a lot, and then come books on these devices, and I would start to read these devices. So reading is still a hobby of mine, but now I find I don't sit to read an entire book anymore. I buy the short version and I listen to the audio version of it. But I like to still have it.
I'm your sister in that regard.
I like to still have it. So if I'm, writing a paper or something, I want the reference, I'll flip through the book and I'll find it. I find that is easier. So reading and what has become a hobby of mine now is exercising. I have a group that I've exercised with for well over 7, 8 years, and I so thoroughly enjoy that. We look forward to that. We do about 6 days a week. Well, it has been reduced in COVID, and then every month we will do a really long trek. If you look at my Facebook page, you would see some pictures of those there. A really long trek where we push ourselves and we do walks. We have done the UE half marathon. I've done that 3 times actually. And we will do some really rigorous hikes. And you know what? It's a lovely, lovely group. They are, a lot of them are really fit. I am not as fit as all of them. I'm always the one lagging behind, but I don't care. I go, I plod along, and the purpose is to not to compete with anybody, but to compete with myself. I just keep going, and I'm going and going, and I achieve my goals that way. Yes, I'm always in the back, always Hyacinth, you okay? Yes, I'm good. I keep going, right? That's me.
Oh my God. We are on our last question here. I am going to miss you for the day. But I had so much fun getting to know the Dr. Hyacinth Guy.
I haven't spoken about myself like this in ages.
Wow.
I can't recall.
We're putting it out there. So I'm just saying, we're putting it out there. So
yes.
This last one is pretty awesome, but we want you to make a wish.
Oh gosh.
We'll wait.
Yes. While I am here, I have to say, how much I value my family. I talked about my family, but I have to say again, because you're putting this out there on YouTube and they should hear this, I value my family, value my friends. My son, did I tell you I have a wonderful son living out there in San Diego? I miss him, but he has his life. He lives out there. So hello to Aaron, my husband who's out there. I thankful for all of those things in my life. Make a wish. My wish really is for our collective thinking to change. Our collective, because if we have a change in our collective thinking, I think we'll have a quantum leap in the development of this country. We have to think more about what we can give. We have to think more about bringing out the best, showing up with our best selves. And we have to think more about achieving broader goals rather than what it is we see just only for ourselves. So it's really seeing us as a people, thinking that we are capable, that we are as good as and even better, and not have these self-limiting thoughts about who we are, and which lead to self-limiting habits. So what we do, and then the things that we do translate into the results that we get. And some of the results that we have in this country, in terms of different areas in this country, they're not at the level that they should be. And I really think it needs an enlightenment, a change in the way we think, a change in the things that we do. And we probably need to start by getting that kind of awareness at the level of the schools, so that children think about themselves as I am capable, I am able, and not these self-limiting thoughts that we have and we put into our children. So that there may be hope for a new generation of children coming forward. Yeah.
Wow. Well, Dr. Hyacinth Guy, it has been a tremendous journey. I had a fantastic time getting to know you, getting to know a little bit about you. I know we will spend some more time together, and I'll get some more scoop, and we put some more scoop out there in time to come. But for now, on behalf of the Key Business community, we want to say thank you for sharing a wealth of knowledge, and specifically when it comes to the domain of HR. I'm really hoping that we can get a book from you, Marriage Made in HR. Thank you so very much for sharing your time, your space, your energy, your life, your passions, your journey, advice with us. And we'll see you around the corner.
Thanks for having me, Natasha. This was fun.